Hello Crusaders! This video is going to be about Confederate Partition and how you can manipulate it to make your life easier. So right now we have the start of the game with Vivar. I just win the both wars that we start the game with. And in the meantime we got another two kids. So let's get this started. I will assume the very basic of Confederate Partition you know, and it's basically it's gonna try to give the same amount of land to all your kids. Not should not say land, but same amount of titles to all the kids, and it creates new titles, right? So right now we have like few counties, and we have this Dutch title of the month, although we have a vassal here. So let's check the succession. Our main heir is gonna get our primary duchy and three counties, including a weird one over here. The second kid is gonna get the Duchy of Mon. The other one is getting Lothian and all the counts within. Then we have this other kid with East Anglia and the three counties. And this kid is getting two counties, and one it is part of our primary duchy. Okay, so the very basic is you never want to lose any of your counties in your primary duchy, right? Because obviously this is just the start of the game, so we don't have anything, but if you're playing the game, you have your buildings here that you give gold, levy, prestige, or whatever. And the main goal is never lose anything inside your main duchy. So with that out of the way, let's see how the title creation works a little bit. So one of the kids is getting Mon, right? We have a vassal here. So let's say I destroy the title. Let me open the succession. So right here, we're gonna destroy the title. And now just change it, right? So this kid's getting Lothian, the other is Anglia, and now it is this baby is getting the duchy that will be created for him. So let's keep destroyed, and if we check our stuff, we have one duchy, right? So basically the game we want that all kids here to have one duchy each. So to do that, we give land away, right? So this kid can, well, we cannot give the duchy because we are a duke ourselves, but we can give, let's say, those two pieces of land, okay? Then this land is part of the other duchy, it's part of this duchy. Then here we can put vassals, whatever, doesn't really matter. Then we have East Anglia, so let's give to this kid. You can have this, and let's put a vassal over here. Let's go to this kid. For this kid, we will declare war on math and take this county, okay? So he can have his own duchy too. Okay, we usurp the title. It has an election, so I'm gonna remove it. Now we have this other. Oh, but I don't want the thing. Okay. So let's put this kid here, and we can put a vassal, or it can be all the kid. Just really doesn't matter. Then for the last one, so if you check here, the last one is getting Mon, and the others are getting their respective Dutch title. Like the game is kind of smart in that way. So he has land in Lothian, he gets Lothian. The other one has land in East Anglia, he gets East Anglia, and go on. Okay, so now we don't lose any of our counties in our main duchy. Okay, so I'm gonna reload the save and change stuff a little bit so we can see other ways of doing that. Okay, we are back, and now as you can see, we have a kingdom title, and being a king, you can have two duchies, right? So again, this one is gonna be one of our main duchies, and let's say Albany it is another of our duchies. Okay, so the same principle than before. We don't want to lose any county inside any of those two duchies, right? Okay, this is out of Lothian, so you can put anyone here. So let's check how the succession is now. Okay, one kid's getting Mon again, the other kid's getting our our duchy. This kid's getting a bunch of counties everywhere. The other kid, another bunch of counties everywhere. And you can see the Dutch map here because I usurped like the last time and I destroyed, but the election is gonna vanish pretty soon when I unpause the game. Okay, so let's do the same thing and see what would happen, right? So let's say Skid can get Lothian. This other kid can get Meth. This one can get East Anglia. Then the last one, let's see what happened now. Now it is a bit weird, right? It's totally different than what happened the last time. This kid is gonna get the Mon. This kid is gonna get our other duchy. So why that's happening? Because the game tries to split equally, right? So king, we only have one kingdom title, but we have three duchies at the moment. So in theory, the game we want that every single kid get three duchies, right? But let's see what happens if we change stuff a little bit. Let's give to one of our kids the monk. Just so it stays a little bit more realistic, right? We have two duchies. So this baby can have this. Now let's check. Again, it's all messed up, right? East Anglia kids getting Athlon, the Mon kids getting Lothian stuff. So as you can see now, it's not creating the duchies when they are landed. So let's fix that. We need some gold. Okay, okay, you create the titles. Let's make the kids happy. And if we check, now is kinda smart again, at least at some point. So let's give them away. Okay, you have Mon, you, Lotian. We don't need to give this counties, we can give it to a vassal like before. Just making my life easier right now. Okay, you can have East Anglia. And this kid can have math. Okay, so almost like before, every kid has one duchy. Let's check session. And it is messed up. We are losing the entire Dutch that we wanna held to one of the kids. As I said before, we had two duchies, so the game will try to give two duchies to each kid. So the quote-unquote intended way would be conquer more land and give away. But that's not very obtainable every single time, right? This guy could be pretty old, almost dying, we don't have time to get everything. So how can you fix that without conquering any more land? It's pretty simple actually. Just go to one of your duchies, the ones that you wanna hold, and you destroy the title. Now it is fixed. I don't need to give land to anybody else. And succession won't create this Dutch title and give it to anyone, as you can see. We have the same amount of land. So this is a slightly different scenario. We let's say we started with the Duke of being Duke of Munster or only have a county and make this Dutch our primary title, and we conquered all the Ireland and we gave to our kids. Okay. So if you check succession, it is okay, and I'm gonna explain later on why I say okay, not that it is great. Like we are getting all of our counties, the main title, so it should be fine. But you also have some lands here in Wales. So let's say this vassal conquers this guy, or you conquer more land, whatever. And now we have enough here for another kingdom title. And if you remember, Confederate Partition creates a new title. So now our son that already has Ulster, that's part of our de jure territory, is gonna become independent and be the King of Wales and take the north with him. So how can we fix that? Because sometimes we cannot control what our vessels do. If you check here to create the title, you need 7 counties and we have 9. That means we need to get rid of 3 vessels. I mean 3 counties or 1 vessel, 3 different vessels, doesn't matter. So in this case you can get rid of all these 3 dudes, but that's kind of tricky because then one of the vessels that are stronger can just take it back, right? So I'm gonna get rid of this guy, and that's gonna fix everything. So now let's talk about, I say this is okay, not great, because if the kids get land and they become your vassal, you don't get any claims. So you'll be stuck with all those kids here, and they all have claims on everything. And chances are you get a faction, or their lives, or when they die, their sons, they will create a faction, right? So in theory, like, we can die and we don't lose anything. As you can see, everything is fine. But we will have the issues with our brothers here, and look, they have the claims, and if you check us, we don't have any claims on their stuff because they are our vassals. So in this specific way, how would be the best way to do it? We would land them outside of Ireland. And I'm gonna show you guys in a second. Let me set this up. Okay, we are back with basically the same scenario, but this time I have random vessels inside my de jure land, and all my kids are outside of Ireland. Okay, so if you check succession, it is okay-ish. We're not losing anything here. So let's die and explain the difference, because it's gonna look like the same, but it's not the same. Okay. And again, they are all our vassals, so they have claims and we do not have claims on them. But the main difference now is if they start factions or they start to become annoying, since they're not part of your de jure land, you can just get rid of them. And getting rid of them, the problem is solved. Because now they cannot create a faction to take your stuff. They need to declare war on you. And we have the domain that we've been working since they started the game. Then how much they have depends on you. In this case, this kid has only 2 counties. This kid, 3. This kid, also 3. But they could have only 1, only the capital, right? So that makes them pretty weak. As you can see, 500 troops. 200 troops. 200 troops. And we have, ignoring the special troops, that's 2500. So we have 1200 troops. We can beat them easily. A good way to do this in the very beginning of the game would be, instead of pushing for the kingdom like we did here, you let your domain break. So in the case, like, we will have Munster, a kid will have Leinster, other kid Sedreia, other kid East Anglia, and without the kingdom title, they will all be independent. So I'm gonna show you how that would work. Okay, so this is basically like before. Then sometimes I use this on my first succession only, and maybe later on with like two kingdoms splitting, but let's go with this example, right? We cannot create Ireland. We need one more county in. So all the kids are set there. If you check succession, it's gonna be okay. Like the kid that has land here get the proper title and go on. So let's die and see what happens. Okay, we died. We still have this vassal over here. We have all our land, and this time they are independent. So that means, as usual, they have the claims, but now we do have the claims too. This way we can get the land back like super easy. See, he has 500 troops and cost us 75 prestige, and we get all the Dutch. And the same applies to all the other brothers. So sometimes it's better if you let it break, especially if one of them it is part of your de jure stuff. Let's say instead of having this random vessel here, it was one of our brothers. Then we would want this to break so we can get it back and form the kingdom the next generation, right? So that's the two main mechanics you can use to fix your succession. It is granting independence or letting the other heirs be independent so you can take it back, and destroying your own titles like we did at the beginning, destroying the Dutch titles. So I hope this helped you out. So that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I see you guys later.